said Sagittarius.
Thank you very much.
Do you think that men marry for like high status families? Like I'm thinking of like Ivanka Trump. Like would someone marry a girl for like status in that way?
Well, that is one of the most, I mean, if you look at arranged marriages, it's all for status, right? That's an example. But men primarily marry for, I'd argue that men, and I say this about men, but women do the same thing, right? Women love the idea of getting status from a man. Women love the idea, and this is where it actually gets a bit messy. The waters get muddy because women love the idea of bragging about the man they're with, but they can only brag about the man they're with if other women want that man. So you're saying you love women who get cheated, women love getting cheated on. That's not true. But women do not like men that other women don't want. If you were to say, look, I got my man, he's perfect, he's rich, he da-da-da-da-da, and every girl in the room would go, I would never touch him. She'd be like, oh, shit. Oh, I don't want him either then. What the fuck
But
is
you
this?
know, can I add on top of that?
But it's true, right?
No.
Women want men that all the women want.
Do you know what's the best man that woman wants? Is the one that every girl wants, but he doesn't want them.
Okay.
A selective man.
Yeah,
I'm sure that's more
But
valuable
that's
than the
the
top
problem.
But
G
that's
that
the
gets every
fantasy.
You're
host.
saying
That's
that
the
men,
fantasy.
But Tate,
No, that's
you're
not
saying
the
that
fantasy.
men are
That's
now
not that
polygamous
selective.
and women should accept that. That's the problem. Men are continuously disrespecting their woman. Like, yeah, you know what? You're with one, you can't be with one woman. Now you want to keep cheating with all these
But
different women.
that's not what he said.
No, no, no,
He's saying
no,
if
no,
you're
no.
gonna go for a high status guy, if you're gonna go for the top 5% of guys, that's what comes with it. And if
Yeah,
not,
but
then go for the average guy.
Can I just say that before?
So is it okay for average guys to stick with one woman then?
It's not about okay. It's okay for anyone to do whatever they want. I'm not sitting here saying what's okay and what isn't okay. What I am talking about is observations about the baseline realities of how humans function. What I'm telling is that if you give a man unlimited options, like the men at the top of society have, on a long enough time scale, he will explore said options. That is a fact. Like I said earlier, you can walk into a car garage and buy a Nissan, and that's reliable, and it'll never let you down. Or you can buy a McLaren. You cannot sit, like women do, and go, I want the McLaren that's reliable like the Nissan. Well, guess fucking what? That's not real. So you have to choose.
Can
You
I ask
have
you
to
something,
pick.
Mr. Tate? Can I ask you something?
I wanna go
Years
next.
ago, right, do you think it makes a difference? Because years ago, if you want to meet a man, you go out there and you actually talk. But now you meet a guy, he can go and check out your IG and see what you're all about. Don't you think that by them being able to look and see what you're all about, that makes a difference to how they perceive you?
100%. I think society is fundamentally and utterly broken. I think the way that men and women interact is broken. I think that men are broken. I think that women are broken. I think everything is completely fucked, genuinely. And this is where we go into the small things. We're talking about status. You're right about IG. If I go on a date with a girl and I look at her Instagram page, I'm sitting there thinking, does this make me look good or bad? Yes, I want her to be hot. Yes, I want her to have followers. Yes, I want everyone chasing her. But what's that caption about fucking city life? And what's this about? What's that? That's not, nah, that puts me off, right? So it's interesting. What's also interesting is the majority of women don't have a clue in the modern world what men find attractive. So we said earlier in the very beginning of this podcast about men who want their dick sucked and all this bullshit. Men don't, that's not attractive to men. We don't want any of that. Most women, if you were to say, how do you attract a man, they wouldn't have a Scooby-Doo. They wouldn't have an idea.
I know. They want a submissive woman.
Hello, my
She
name's
cooks for
Denova.
him. Give him some massage.
It's not, no, but it's not,
feed him grapes.
it's not just, no, it's not even
Pat
just-
his head.
It's not just about that. The one of the important things for being a man, especially in a relationship, is we want to be our woman. If I have a woman and I love her, I want to be her portal to the world. I want her to experience things through me and see things through me. So for that, I need a degree of innocence and purity for her. I want to be the first person to put her on a private jet. I want her to get on the jet and go, wow. I did it. Oh, you took me. It's like you wouldn't want to give someone a Christmas present if they'd had 10 presents better than you beforehand.
Yeah,
would you? It's like, well, duh.
Yeah.
So as a woman, what makes you attractive to a man, to a degree, is your innocence and your purity. This is very important. And it can go down to very basic, simple things. I'll tell you, if I walk in a club, do you know who the hottest girl in the club? It's the girl who isn't dancing, isn't twerking on a fucking stage, not surrounded by dudes. When girls want male attention in a club, they start drinking, twerking. That is the most revolting, haram bullshit. I may want to fuck you, but I don't want to be with you. If you show me a girl sitting in the corner, shy, I'm like, good, she hasn't experienced too much life. I can show her things. And also, not just show her things. This is a very important point that I get attacked by the Matrix for because they completely misunderstand me on purpose. As a man, if I'm out here struggling and leading and trying to lead my household, I also want a woman who shares my values. I want to a degree to educate my woman and show her things and for her to agree with me. Like you said earlier, looking for a male role model. You want to be a role model to your woman. If she's too experienced with life, it's difficult to be a role model. If she's sitting there shy and quiet, you can come along and say, no, you know what? Don't take the fucking vaccine. Listen to me. And you can be a role model for her. You can't do that for a woman who knows too fucking much, knows too many dudes, been too many places. So it's this degree of purity that we're looking for that's super important.
I'm
What about intellect, though?
I'm curious if you said if she's like done too many things, that's like bad. Right?
Yes, correct.
So I'm not even talking sexually, like been on a private jet. Yeah. I'm curious because I lived
But how do you get on a private jet without sucking dick?
Oh, I was just curious because my dad's part of like he's top like 1% in terms of like income, and I was just curious, is it different if you did stuff with your dad?
Well, no, that's fine.
No, not like that. Not sexual. That's no. I'm not like
she said private jet.
Yeah,
private. I know what you're saying. Well, I mean, I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
But my point is that we're looking for a true degree of innocence inside of females, and it's that innocence that's going to make us feel protective over them, and that the protectiveness is going to make us be good men.
Okay.
So when we're looking at society as a whole and how broken it is, I understand that men have a massive role to play, women have a massive role to play, but a lot of the paternal instincts and instinctual behaviors of men, because the instinctual behavior of man is to die for his woman. Like someone comes to try and take her, pull a sword, die to defend her, right? If you're going through life and you find that men don't really feel about you that way, that's because a lot of their instinct is being eroded by the fact that you, like you said, they look through your IG or they look through your life and you've lived so much life and they just feel like, there's nothing new I can bring to this girl's reality.
But I don't feel like that's true, though, because like I think it's like I get what you're saying to a degree, right? But it's like you could be on a private jet 10 times, but it's going to be special because it's with you.
Yeah.
Not for him, it isn't. Not for him. For him, it's special because it's your first time. Because men, maybe it's a biological predisposition. Maybe it's just the way we're designed. But let's tie it back to sex. Virginity, first time. It's not that you've done it. It's that you've done it with the first time with me. That's what is important. It's experience as a whole that men find. It's just the truth. Call me misogynistic, cancel me, whatever. I'm telling the truth. I always have done. It's experience of life as a whole that men, to a degree, find off-putting. We don't want a woman who's had a bunch of trauma, had a bunch of experiences, done a bunch of shit, knows a bunch of people, been a bunch of places. That's the absolute opposite of what we want. We want the complete polar opposite of that. And what's funny is women want men who have done those things. I'll tell you right now. Go out there and find a virgin woman and say, do you want to have your first boyfriend? Do you want to lose your virginity to a virgin man or a man
virgin hunk.
or a man who's had a couple girls? She'll choose a dude with experience as a virgin herself. Experience is always coveted and respected in men. It's the opposite in women.
That's true. That's true.
So it's true. So we have to look at how fucked up the world is. Women, especially between their 18 and 28, or 18 and 25, let's say, are living these crazy lifestyles, these crazy lives with the most important people, richest people on the planet, doing everything that can be experienced under the sun. And then at 29, 30, some dude's expected to come along, know he's second place to X, Y, Z, and be happy with that. And not allow it to hurt his ego and sit there and pick it up and put a fucking brave face on. It kills him every day inside. That's the reality. He's in love with you. And you've been fucking where with fucking who? I can't afford a jet. I'm Joe Schmo.
Okay.
That fucking breaks their hearts.
Do you think that hoes can ever be turned into housewives?
Okay, I'll answer that question. And the answer is actually, truthfully, yes. Which I know a lot of people are confused by. They can. If you're a good enough, high enough level man, you absolutely can turn a hoe into a housewife. But why the fuck would you? Because you don't have to. A man like me, I could, but I'm not low on options, so I would never decide to do that. If you're a billionaire, could you? You can find an old rusty car and rebuild it, or you can just buy a new one, right? So it's not about what could be done; it's about what will be done. So once women hit a certain status of man, I don't think women are stupid. I actually argue the fact that women have a beautiful intuition. I think that women, to a degree, their intuition is truly almost psychic. The number of times I've come home and she's like, "You were cheating," and I was like, "How the fuck did she know I was fucking cheating?" Like, you have intuition and it's real. You guys are smart, right? And if they get to a certain echelon of man, they're not going to go anywhere because there's nowhere else to go. They're going to get to a guy eventually. They're going to stop at the buck and go, you know what? Where am I going to surpass this specimen? So I'm just going to behave for him. So you could turn a hoe into a housewife that way. But why would a man at that level want to do that?
Why do some guys at certain, and this is obviously a celebrity example, but I'm sure we can all think of examples in like day-to-day life where a guy with a lot of options does pick a hoe and like wife her, like for example, Kim and Kanye. Because Kanye clearly has options.
She did not want to be a housewife.
No,
she was a project.
Okay, I understand. I'm just asking because some guys do pick.
Yeah, they do, and it's a really good point. And I have nothing bad to say about Kanye. In fact, I think a lot of the work he's doing now in terms of attacking the Matrix is important. But I can give you a generalized answer. But it's a man who is not true to his masculine imperative, which is going to fall for the propaganda machine, which is being purported upon him, who's going to believe that all the crap that is being told by society, like a female's past doesn't matter and all this shit doesn't matter. This is what's interesting in the fight against the Matrix, because people always say to me, Andrew, why do you come here and say all these things? They're literally trying to destroy your life for what you say. And the truth is, as a man, you have two choices. You either fight against the programming and the brainwashing they're trying to put inside of all of our minds, or you end up fighting against yourself. If you're a man and you sit down and you believe the garbage that society's telling you about how society functions between men and women, you're going to end up getting fucking wrecked like these dudes do. They sit there and go, just because she's fucked everyone doesn't mean she'll do it again. Just because, and they sit there like dummies and they get fucking wrecked, right? You have to sit there as a man and go, no, I don't give a shit what society's telling me. I understand something baseline about humanity, right? And that's why they make these poor choices. And a lot of men do make these poor choices, but it's only in the West. It's only in the West where this propaganda machine exists. You will not find a Russian billionaire doing this dumb shit. You will not find a Chinese billionaire doing this dumb shit. You do not go to Saudi and find a sheikh doing this dumb shit. None of it. You only find it in the West.
Do you think the values of the West are spreading?
What values?
So
Name a value of the West.
Sorry.
Name a value.
Sorry, I might have misspoke. I mean,
Ideals.
like the ideas of the West. Like I've just gotten I get messages from people like from all over, and like in places like India, I've heard feminism is spreading there. Like I've heard that. Do you not find that to be true?
So firstly, the West has no value. The only thing the West seems to defend fervently is LGBT. I'm not saying anything bad about it. I'm not. I'm just saying it's the only thing that they'll stand up and fight for. I don't know why. It's weird. Like this, they don't care about anything else. They don't care about children going without child support. They don't care about people dying in wars. They don't care about our parents being in parent homes. They don't care about crime. They don't care about no one being able to pay their energy bills. They don't care about nothing. But they give a shit for some reason about this one thing, and they'll fucking throw the flag all around the world.
Surrounded around sex.
That's all they care about. It's fucking strange. So that's the first thing about the values of the West. Second thing, the harder society and the harder the life is as a whole, the longer it's going to take for feminism to spread. Feminism only exists in a vacuum of an easy life. If you're living in a society like India where life is hard, feminism disappears because the harder life is, the closer people naturally revert to their gender roles. If you got a bunch of 10 men, 10 women, stranded them on a desert island, and they had to survive, very quickly the men would do men shit and the women would do women shit. There'd be very little talk about feminism and equality, and all this shit would fucking vanish when shit hits the fan, right? So in countries where life is harder, feminism can't take hold because feminism can only exist in a vacuum of a very privileged life. I'm sure there's some kid in India who didn't get laid off some chick and he's complaining she's a feminist. There's a bunch of dumb shit, right? But I think the world is going to get a lot harder. I think the world is cyclical. I think it's been easy for a while. I think hard times are coming. And when hard times come, people are going to naturally revert to what gives them the highest chance of survival, which is gender roles, right? I have the best chance of survival being a man, and a woman has the best chance of survival being my woman. That's how she's going to function.
Do you think women typically are happier as housewives rather than a career?
Well,
Depends on the career.
no.
Depends on the man.
The answer is absolutely and utterly yes, because giving life is the most beautiful thing a female can do. That's what you've evolved to do. That's the thing that men cannot do. I think that women who focus on having children and do their best to be good mothers in the end are the happiest females on the planet.
Being a mother and being a housewife is kind of different, though.
Okay, no, but it's essentially the same thing. If you're a housewife long enough, I'm going to assume you're going to end up having children. And I think that the sooner a woman has children, the better. If she can find a good man and have a child, that's a fantastic thing. I think it's a beautiful thing. And I don't see the point in a woman slaving away for a corporation that doesn't care about her as opposed to slaving away for her own flesh and blood. I think that's a complete waste of a life. I think if men are already doing that, why would you want to go along and do that
Because
as well?
a career is not just slaving away for a corporation. A career can involve a million different things.
Well, that's exactly what a career is. It's slaving away for a
Well-
corporation that doesn't care about you. And I understand you have to pay the bills, and I understand you don't want to be completely sufficient. You want to be self-sufficient. You don't want to be dependent on a man. I understand all that. But in an idealistic scenario, in the vacuum of ideology, if you could sit and be a woman and focus on having children or focus on doing a job, I think on a long enough time scale, you're going to be much happier with your progeny as
So,
opposed to working a job.
Can I ask you a question? Because I feel like we talk a lot about hoes. We talk about a lot of the extreme. There's a lot of gray matter in the middle.
Sure.
Where a lot of women kind of get lost.
Yep.
For example, I think that one of the issues sometimes that I hear a lot about, and I personally may say I feel it sometimes, is that when you're also a quite educated woman, intellectual, intelligent, whatever, smart, a lot of the time, naturally, you speak in a way that stands out from other people,
Yep.
right? And I find that a lot of the time, that kind of intimidates some of the men them, where they start thinking, this girl is a bit too much. Now, it is not my fault that I'm smart. It's not my fault that I can put one and one together very nicely and very quickly. What kind of man is going to be able to handle that?
I have to give me a minute.
This woman laughs like I don't speak 4 languages and got 3 degrees. Now I thought
Wait, is she trying to say you're not smart?
it's okay. I speak how I do for a reason. So please,
That's
sir, can
kinda
you help
rude,
me out?
though.
I'm trying to find a husband, the kind of beast that can handle a woman like me.
Well, this is another point, right? And I'm only answering generally, right? Because this is the first time I've met all of you ladies. You've all been very polite to me. You've all been very nice. I'm just talking generally. And I'm going to answer it based on your last sentence. Your last sentence was handle a woman like me.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at the average man's life, like I just discussed earlier, how difficult it is, how competitive he has to be, and how many problems he has to fix. Do you think he wants to handle any woman?
Okay, so
Do you, like the idea of any degree of problem? It's the straw that breaks the camel's back. Like the point of having a woman as a man, for me at least, is for her to be my peace and quiet. My life is stress. You see me, I'm rolling around with fucking security teams, and I got problems, and they're after me, and when I come home to my chick, the last thing I want to do is have to handle anything. I want her to just sit the fuck down and her make me happy. She used to be my positive energy. She used to be my sunshine in the rainstorm.
Okay.
So you're talking about him handle you. I don't know. I can't answer the question exactly, but if you're sitting there constantly arguing over small points or correcting him or that, he's probably thinking, this is a battle. I don't have the energy for another fight.
okay,
Yeah,
so
I hear
now
that.
let me add extra context to what I mean as well. So obviously submission is something that people talk about a lot.
Yeah.
For me, I'm a logical person, I believe, and I submit with logic. I don't submit by default because there's
Okay.
a level of respect that I believe I need to have
Yes.
to be able to submit. Obviously, it's
I
not
agree.
that I go around and I disrespect all men and everything, but I find that my level of thought process a lot of the times,
It makes it hard. No. So I know what you're trying to say.
yeah, thank you.
You know, but you need to find a man you truly respect to submit to him,
Yeah.
and I completely respect that. And that's the same with 99% of women. Like you're never going to submit to a man you don't respect. And respect is ultimately important because you're not going to sleep with a man you don't respect. You're not going to be attracted to a man you don't respect. Respect is the bottom line of it, and the man has a job to do. He has a duty to do to be worthy of respect. But this all goes back into a very interesting point. Some of the points I've kind of mentioned earlier. If I was a woman, if I was a chick, the chance of me ending up in a relationship with a man I don't respect is 0%. I don't understand how you girls end up. Well, I do understand how you girls end up here. You end up here because of feminism, promiscuity, promises that running around taking dick is fine, dumb shit, stupid decisions. I'm independent, so it doesn't matter that he's a dummy. Bunch of garbage. When you should be waking up going, you know what? I'm going to be extremely selective, and I'm going to take my time and be very, very smart because you're the gatekeeper. By the time you're in a relationship with somebody, you should have immense respect for that man. Absolute immense respect. You shouldn't be able to get there any other way. The only reason you've got there is because you've been tricked by society and lied to and told a bunch of fucking bullshit. So,
Yeah.
so you're talking about submission and respect. Yeah, it'll come when you meet the right man, naturally. And this is another point I make because I have a lot of men message me. I trust, guys, please understand, the most Googled man on the planet. I have 100,000 emails a day from people,
Damn.
and I get dudes email me, how do I get my woman to submit? And I can't reply to all the emails, but if I ever read them, I'm like, bro, you're a fucking dork. Why would she reply to you? Why would she submit to you? You're a fucking nerd. That's the truth. I'm not out here saying submit to all men. Men are the boss. I'm saying, listen, there's natural balance in the universe. When you meet a G, I've never had trouble with a woman obeying me. She just wants to. It's natural for our dynamic. If she didn't want to obey me, we wouldn't even get to the point of a relationship. If she didn't feel like she wanted to listen to me, we would have never got to where we want to get. It just doesn't work. That shit only happens when the female's fucking giving up sex too easy and the dude's just picking up easy pussy and they end up in some bullshit relationship. They don't even like each other. That's dumb shit. That's dumb shit, right? But I don't have any of these problems in my life. And if you're a dude at home and you're watching this and you go, I want my woman to submit, and she doesn't, guess what? She doesn't respect you. And guess whose fault that is a lot of the time? Your fault. It is your fault as a man.
Tell
Yes!
It is.
Yes.
No, it is.
Yes.
No,
That's what you guys need to damn here. Tell him, please.
But it's not
Tell him.
about blaming men and women because everyone has a problem. But then there's also men who are worthy of respect who women refuse to respect
True.
because of society.
Tell the
so
sisters too.
there's two sides to it, right? But a lot of it is if you're a capable enough man and you're brilliant enough, then the female has no choice. But it's very interesting. this goes back into a point I made earlier about how important it is for us men to find women who we don't believe have had a lot of life experience and look like they are. Because I got attacked. I'm going to make this point right now. I got attacked when the Matrix attacked me and fucking lied about me. They said that men are interested in women who are younger because they're more programmable, and that they're trying to make out that I'm making out that men are out here trying to get women and fucking do bad things to them. No, what I'm saying is, if you find a woman who's younger and been through less things, less trauma, less relationships, less headache, she's lived less life, your ideals, if you ask any woman who loves her man, what's your favorite song? His favorite song. Who do you vote for? Who he votes for. What's your favorite car? His car. That's how it happens when a woman loves a man. And that makes the man feel good, right? If she's been through too much shit, then that's a lot harder to pull off. So that link is very important for men and women. But so yeah, the Matrix attacked me with that. But it's very, very interesting. You have to understand all these small sub-dynamics and why things are happening and why the world is the way it is. And the baseline of it is that everything's fucked. Men aren't acting like men and women are acting like women, and it's all messed up.
Oh yeah.
Wait, so what about like your own autonomy and like just like your favorite car is your favorite car, my favorite car is my favorite car. Like why does it have to?
Okay,
I guess that's where I'm confused. Like why does it have to be like that?
Yeah, and that's a good point, right? I understand that completely, but I'll give you an example. I'll talk from personal experience because it makes it easy for me. I have a bunch of cars. I love cars. I have 32 cars. My favorite car is X. I pick up a chick. This is my what's your favorite car? This one. I like that one. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever, no big deal. But the agreeableness is ultra attractive. It depends what the woman wants to do, right? If I was a woman, and let's say I'm 22 years old and I meet a billionaire, and it's my goal to marry this man, and I go to his house, and I say, wow, you have so many cars. What's your favorite car? This one. Really? I thought that one too. It looks so good. Why that one? Because this. Oh, really? Okay, I'll try and remember that. That's how you get the dude, right? You don't get the dude by going, well, that one is a better color. You're a dickhead. It may be small things. It may be tiny things, but men are ultra interested in things like agreeableness. So we're ultra interested in the idea of a woman absorbing our worldviews. We're ultra interested. We are. That's what we're looking for.
That's taken away from the woman's identity, though.
What if you say
she doesn't like the car? No. So why should she agree to a car that she doesn't like? Why do you want to be with someone
that
doesn't know who they are?
She doesn't have to agree.
Can I say, I like this one. This is my favorite, but I like yours too. Yours is quite nice, you know. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, it's quite good. But I like this one, but I like that one as well.
You sound like you want a slave.
Is that
someone
fine?
that doesn't have their own mind.
That's just not going against me. It's just being nice. It's not. It doesn't cost you much.
It's like
men don't want a girl that's nagging on them for the smallest things. It's like, why are you giving a guy a headache over a
that's
car?
not nagging. That's not nagging. That's not nagging, though.
He's saying, oh, what car do you like? Why does she have to say his car? Like she likes a different car.
I just gave you a solution, though.
I am talking about how, as a female, to be as attractive as possible to men. Now, I'm not saying you can't get a man if you say another car. I'm saying, how do you be as attractive as possible? Because because you also don't understand how men think. It's different if you come to my house and choose to like another one of my cars. But what if I only have one car? And now you say, well, no, I'll pick you up in my BMW. Oh, yeah, it's nice. I prefer Mercedes. You know what a man thinks the second you say that? Who picked you up in a Merc? That's the first thing that goes to his fucking mind. How do you know about Mercedes?
What if you can buy your own Mercedes?
That's not what crosses the man's mind. I'm telling you how men think.
But then that's why.
Denalva, what percent of women can really afford their own Mercedes?
Especially when you go crazy.
No, guys.
I bought my own car. I drive a BMW.
I said what percent of women?
I drive a BMW.
I said okay.
Guys,
I'm really happy for you. I said the average woman makes $35,000 a year.
It's not that hard in this UK.
It's not that hard.
I said okay.
We're talking about that's still venturing from the point.
I'm really happy for you. I'm really happy for your car. But the average woman, I'm saying but the whole point is that what percent of women even earn that much? It's not a high percentage. So when a guy hears that wait. When a guy hears that you've been in this car and that car and that car, his automatic assumption is that you're an average girl.
And that foolishness.
And that you've been with a bunch of guys to get to that point. I've had a lot of experiences because of my dad, because my dad's very successful. But I've been in situations where I've said, like, oh, I did this, and they think it's with a guy, but it's with my dad. Because most guys assume that you are an average person.
And that's the problem.
Do you not think that's demeaning a woman to say that she can't afford a laptop?
It's not demeaning a woman. It's looking at a balance of probabilities. If I meet an average guy, I assume he makes average money.
Sounds like a traumatized brother.
I think it's just based on wait. It's based on a balance of probabilities.
Can I just say something? That it's all about making a man feel Like everybody says, oh, he's a top G. But it's like, if your man put up a light fitting, and you're standing and watching him put up the light fitting, or you, Denalva, they're watching a man put up a light fitting, what would you say while he's putting it up, and how would you react?
I'd be like, you're probably doing it wrong, but I'll let you finish, and then when you get back, I'll fix it.
Right,
That's
all
the
right then, but
problem.
hang on a minute. And how would you act if your man was
I
putting up
wouldn't
a
have
light
told
fitting?
him. I'd be like, well, done, thank you, baby.
Okay. Well,
Oh, I'll be like, see, the thing is, I
no,
agree.
just answer the question. I'll just answer the question.
please, I
What
just
would
need
you
to
say
add
if
some
your man was
context.
putting up the light fitting? I'm just asking a
I would
question.
be like,
What's a
thank you,
light- what's a
babe.
light-
Thanks for putting up the light fitting. I
Right.
appreciate you.
My man put up a light fitting. I was like, wow. He got it all out. It was all in boxes. He got his toolbox. He was up there on the ladder. Whatever you want me to hand you. I was like, oh my God, you're stripping wires. Oh my God. Then he said, oh, turn it. When it finished, I was like, it works. That's what he's talking about.
I agree.
That is what he's talking
I
about when he's
agree.
talking about the car. He's not saying you can get your own car. He's saying make the man feel like he's doing something, make him feel appreciated.
That's right.
Like act like a child.
No, I
like,
agree, I
you know,
agree.
and that's what he's saying. He's not saying that, oh yeah, you don't like that car. It's like, my man got a car. It's like, oh my God, it's got heated seats. Oh,
That's
I
the
like
same
heated
way a
seats.
girl likes
Oh my
to
God.
hear. You're the most
I got
beautiful
a
girl in the
Mercedes.
world.
Exactly. I think it's got to be a balance, though. Like, yeah, I agree. I like to make my man
Listen,
feel
right.
good. When my man dresses up, I'm like, girl, you look so fine. Like, I like to make my man feel good, but he has to do that to me as well.
Listen, right.
He has to offer me that
I
sexual
listened to Mr. Tate, right, say about, let me put, for instance, there's an artist that I like. My man likes it too. COVID had just sort of like finished. I got 2 free tickets to go. My man said to me, you're not going. What would you do?
I'm going.
What would you do?
What? You can't tell me what to do.
Why am I not going?
It doesn't matter. He said to
It
you, you're
does
not
matter
going.
because that's just illogical submission.
I
for
know.
no reason. Why
That
tell me why I
doesn't
can't
make
go?
sense.
Okay,
then?
no, but the
Like-
whole point is you pick someone that you respect enough to trust his judgment, even
didn't
when
go.
even when you disagree. That's the whole point.
I want to find
See, that
somebody
I don't
like,
agree
who-
with.
respect enough
Because
to
you're
not
your
bring
own
me
person.
stupid,
Just
stupid
because you're in a
freaking-
relationship.
But why would-
guys,
hang on a minute.
stop.
Can I ask you a question?
Wait. We need one at a time. I
Why
need
would
guys
you
to
think
respect
it's
yourself.
something
Loud.
stupid or whatever? You trust a man enough to be with him. You trust a man enough to sleep with him. So why won't you trust his
Okay.
opinion? Why does he have to give that? If I say to my man, like I went in,
Right.
if I say to my man, don't do this. The first thing is me thinking, not she's telling me what to do. There must be a reason behind it why she's
Because-
telling me not to do. Because she
because-
trusts me. I did not go. I had 2 free tickets.
I'll tell
I
you
did
why,
not go.
Mama. I'll tell
But
you
does
why.
that not
Wait. Auntie, you asked me a question. I'll tell you why. Because the same way a man wants that sort of validation, a woman wants assurance. I don't want to just blindly do everything all the time, especially sometimes I'm thinking, okay, that's a bit
Okay, so
straight.
let's talk.
That's what submission
No,
is.
so let's make
Yeah,
a
but
point.
that's
Auntie
fine
made a really important point.
submission.
Auntie made a really important point because the point she's making is twofold and it's extremely important because a lot of women talk about being submissive, but they're submissive when it suits them. That's not submission. So she wanted to go to the concert. He said no. She trusts him as a man. She didn't go. Absolute respect for that. That's exactly what my woman would have done. Exactly the same thing. Women go, I'm submissive. You're submissive when he's buying you shit in bed and you're submissive. But the second he says something you don't like, you instantly turn off the submission and run your fucking mouth. That's not submissive. That's manipulation. That's bullshit. So that's the first thing. The second thing is responsibility and authority are linked. And as a man, if I'm going to be responsible for a woman, I need a degree of authority over her. This is the reality of it. If I'm going to be responsible for paying your bills, and responsible for your personal safety, and responsible for your personal development, and responsible for fixing the life fitting, and responsible for everything that I'm supposed to do as a man, I need a degree of authority to sometimes come along and say X, Y, Z and be obeyed. If I'm going to have a ship, if you have a ship, the reason the captain has to go down with the ship is because he is responsible for everything that happens on that ship. And because of that, he has authority. If he yells at the shipmates and they all ignore him, then he can't be considered responsible for the problems on the ship, which means he doesn't have to die with it. If you want a man invested in a relationship, he needs to be responsible for you, but he needs authority over you. And you know what? The smartest thing you can do as a woman is sit and go, you know what? Go into this concert. It's 2 hours. But this is going to piss him off, and it's going to be a splinter in his mind for years.
But can I
Is
just-
this
can I-
really worth it? Now, I'm not saying let some man abuse you, let some man treat you like shit. But if you have a good man who's good to you 99% of the time and he comes along and he really cares about something, you should give him that grace and give him that, you know what, he's the man, he said it, boom, done. Because if something happened to you at that concert, if your,
I told you
if your
so.
bag was snatched, if you got fucking robbed, if someone tried to punch you, if someone grabbed you, who would you call?
Okay.
Help,
The
help,
police.
help me.
The police.
You call your man.
The police.
You call him.
Senor Andrew, Mr. Tate King, Master Supreme Leader of everything, the universe, the Matrix, and all of that. No, I just say this because
but-
it keeps him chilled.
Wait,
I
why
gotta
don't-
make my
why
points the
don't-
right way. You know what I'm
But
saying?
Tate, do you not think that
Wait,
it's
sister.
not respecting?
Wait.
Guys, wait
Listen.
1 second. 1 second. You go ahead. You wanted to say something?
Just doing the most.
Of course, I have to do the most. This is the thing. What you don't understand is that as a lady, I am displaying to you that it's very easy to speak to a man like Andrew Tate as long as you don't need to step on his toes and you respect the authority that he has. I'm not going to sit here and try and fight against a man that has done a lot more in my life, been in rooms that I haven't been in because he's Andrew Tate. I respect you, but I can still put my point across. Okay, my point is. No, but there is a point, of course.
Look, can I
My
just say
point
something?
is,
When
know-
you say but after something, you just cancel everything you said before.
However, it's a point, it's an acknowledgement, and then comes the counter argument because I don't have to agree with things to speak. Okay? So my point simply is, fine, I get that. But at the end of the day, the same way that we have evolved now, as a woman I have evolved, I would expect, and what I do want is not equality, is a certain level of respect, which means that if I am also somebody that is quite smart, somebody that can take care of themselves, I've done all of this for about 30 years of my life, you can't tell me just no.
But
What the condition is, the condition is, instead of telling me no, give me the assurance as to why you said no, because actually I am agreeable when you make me feel assured that what you're doing makes me feel safe, actually, because what women are looking a lot for is stability, and stability comes from knowing that you can trust a man. I don't trust blindly. It takes reassurance.
It doesn't count if you're only agreeable when you feel like being agreeable.
Can I just say
Like,
something,
that's why-
Denalva?
That's
Can I
why
just say
said
something?
I'm submissive.
You're only
out of
submissive
logic,
when
no.
you're only
And
submissive when
respect.
you feel like being like when you feel
Out
like
of
it's not
respect.
Can I just say
submissive.
something,
Out
Denalva?
of respect.
We live in different houses.
Of course
If I went, he'd never know. Me and my man, because I'm a caregiver. If I went, he would have never known.
Right.
So I still didn't go.
Okay. And?
So what you were saying?
So I'll say to you, okay, baby, you don't want me to go. Why don't you want me to go? Like, what's worrying you? What's the matter? Why would you not want me to go?
But why would I want to question him when he's always got my
Well-
best interests at heart?
Well, I want to
But
know.
he's not
I don't know why,
explaining
because
that
my
to
best
you.
interest in
Why
what-
should he have to explain everything?
Wait,
Because you're not a child. You are
And-
also an adult.
No, and it's not
And
us. It's
treating
not only
a
that-
woman
wait.
like she doesn't have her own mind is
If
very
it's-
It is an
disrespectful.
acknowledgement. It's
Like, I'm
acknowledgement.
sorry. Think about it. Right? I'm 26, right?
Yeah.
I've lived my life all by myself. And then I'm in a relationship and this man is telling me I can't go out.
long you
Let me
knew-
give you
how
an
long you
example.
knew
no
relationship?
reason.
Girls, let me give you an
Does that make sense?
Let me
Can
give-
I do that to a man and just say, I don't want you
If
to go
I
out?
told him, if I told my man, listen, right, you know, you said you're going such and such. Well, you know what? I don't really think you should go. He'll think about it and he'll say, you really don't want me to go? And I'll say, no, he won't go.
That's a lie.
That's not a lie.
There's
And-
no man
Oh,
that's
that's
just gonna
nice.
listen
If we
to a
can do,
woman.
if
Let
we
me give
can
you-
do
That is a
vetoes
lie.
like that,
Let me give you.
baby, I
let-
can veto. You can veto.
Let me ask you girls.
anytime.
Let me ask you girls a question. The reason she decided not to go is because this is obviously not a regular occurrence, right? So he had a reason, and she trusts his judgment. Let me give you girls a scenario. Let's imagine I'm with a chick, whatever. She has a concert. I say I don't want you to go, and she replies like you. Why can't I go? And I say, got a bad feeling. Don't go. Now what?
Now I'll
Now,
be like,
so would you think the woman should just go? I don't give a shit about your
Now-
stupid feeling and bounce, or should
No.
she be? Or
What
should she
is
trust
the
you?
reason
in my
for
wait,
that bad
in
feeling?
There's
my-
no reason. There's no
wait.
reason. I
That
got
doesn't
bad
make
feeling.
sense.
Wait.
Got bad feeling.
This is the
That
thing.
doesn't make sense.
Wait,
How
wait,
can you
look at
just
the key.
have a bad feeling?
Listen, my sister. This is the key. When you say, I don't know, I just got a bad feeling. Let me tell you how that is get translated into my head. He cares about me, and he's actually thinking about something that potentially could be happening that I'm not aware of. I love him for thinking outside the box. But you've reassured me. You've shown me respect for being able to
No,
make
but
my
I'm
own
saying-
decision.
yeah.
And that's all it takes.
No,
That's
but-
all a girl wants to hear.
but
I'm sorry,
when
you
you've
need
had
a logical
relationship-
reason as
No.
to why you're going to tell me
A
not to go.
feeling,
No,
a feeling
can't
is
just
not
say you have a
logical.
bad
A feeling
feeling.
is
A
not
feeling is not
Feeling
logical.
is
What is
intuition.
Guys,
do you-
the whole point is
Paint
like
me-
you're
paint
not
me a
the
story.
whole point is a guy doesn't want to explain like every decision he makes.
And I don't want to
men,
submit
but
to
a
every
lot
decision he
a lot of
makes.
times like men think things through a lot like more than we realize, and so he's already thought about it. He's already made his decision. It's a headache to him when every time he makes a decision, he has to explain it to you.
That's
But
right.
you
And if you
need to
trust that man,
understand-
if you trust that man and you've been with him as long as Auntie's been with her man, and he says something with the kind of relationship they have and the respect they have for each other, of course she's gonna be like, "Oh right, well, cool, done." That's trust. And that's trust. And
I wasn't
that's-
happy.
of course. And also that's a really good point about submission, because submission is largely misunderstood. Like, I can tell you a million stories. I've had girls who are like, "Yeah, you're the man, you're in charge, and yeah, no problem." Da-da. Yeah, she's cool, and she's cool on the jet. She's cool in Dubai. She's cool in the restaurants. She's cool in the 5-star. She's cool in the Lambo. But the second I say something that she half doesn't like, then she's like, "Well, you know what?" Then she's a feminist, right? So women do this very well. A lot of women flip flop. Like if you trust your man and you really want to be with him and you really want to submit to him, there's going to be times you're going to submit in ways you don't like. That's the whole point of it. There's going to be times when you have to do things you don't want to do.
I've actually said this in the
Depends, like I
past.
said, it's
I
respect.
respect you in the fact that you're willing to give a woman a life. You're willing to provide for her.
But-
so I respect that you can then tell her, I want you to do this, babe.
but
and she has to listen.
you're right, but let me
a
make-
lot of women, they want autonomy over themselves.
But
Personally, I don't want a man that's going to provide for me just so he can tell me to sit down and I'm a dog and I'm going to sit down.
Let's understand
because
something.
I can make my own decisions too.
Let's understand something. Every man will give you a life. It's just a matter of whether you're happy with the
Not
life
every
that
man can afford it, though.
No, exactly. Every man will give you a life. It's just a matter of whether you're happy with the life that man is capable of giving. And this goes back into the earlier points we were saying. You can find a good man who will work his ass off and give you the best life he can possibly give you every ounce of strength inside of him. He'll give you all he has. You can get that. But if you're going to wake up and go, no, I don't want that life. I want that life. Well, then that comes with problems.
Yeah,
and
agreed.
this is the cognitive dissonance
Agreed.
that most females operate under, where they sit and go, I want that life, but I want him to act like that guy. I want the Nissan and the McLaren. You can't have both.
What about
you
a
need
project?
to decide. And there becomes a degree of female maturity. As you said earlier, you get to a point where you're like, you know what? Maybe all that glitz and glam and bullshit isn't worth it.
It's not worth it.
You grow up, right?
Yeah.
And that's fantastic. And you make a different decision. And I'm saying that a lot of women get to that point. The problem is, in the modern world, the shit women did before they got to that point, from 19 to 24, pisses the man off to the point where he's never going to be as good as he could be. It's different in your world, right? You met a man, you stay with that man, ding. I know plenty of people. First man, high school sweethearts. The world was different only 40, 50 years ago. The second man, they've been married forever, 50-year marriages. All that shit's gone. And then we have to tie back into all the other sub-points I've made. Into you've had a very fun life at your peak sexual value from 19 to 24, running around doing X, Y, Z. Now you're with this guy who can't give you the life he knows you've already lived. Part of him feels inferior. His status is damaged because all the shit you did is on Instagram and he ain't the one who gave it to you. And now you're expecting a whole bunch of crap out of him. And now when he comes and works his ass off and manages to save up and buy a BMW and picks you up, hey, I got a BMW, you go, yeah, I like Mercedes. And this is the point you're missing. It's not about the fucking car. It's about something larger than that. It's about making him feel like he's a man again and that he's in charge.
A woman
You're sitting
shouldn't
here
have to make
arguing,
a man
saying-
feel like
you're
a
sitting here
man.
going, I'm an autonomous female. I can fucking like that. But what are you doing? You're damaging the psyche of the man who's trying to love you. Is it worth it for a
But
fucking
what do you
car
mean by
brand?
loving?
There gets
Can
to
we
a
break
point-
it down? Can we
Wait,
break
okay,
it down?
can I-
Does loving mean that you listen to what I have to say and also think about what I want and not just what you want?
It's not about
Is that
that.
what loving means? If that's it, I can subscribe to that. But I'm
Okay.
not going to subscribe to
All right.
sit down and you have to sit down.
It's not
What?
about that. It's
I'm a
about-
grown ass woman. I pay my own bills and you're going to tell me what to do?
That's fine. But it gets to a point. It gets to a point where you have to sit and analyze the scenario you're in and try and realize and pick your battles. And I'm telling you, you may not realize it, but a man does a whole bunch of shit for you that you don't know. He's watching the shows you want to watch. He's listening to you talk gossip about the girls at work. He's fucking going, yeah, I like that dress, that dress. He doesn't give a fuck about any of it. He's doing it for you.
See, that's the
but the
great
second
thing
it's
there.
back the other
Yeah.
way, you have
Nah.
some fucking issue with
He's
autonomy.
right.
It's
He's
bullshit.
right.
It's-
Listen, yeah, he's right because
it's bullshit.
women talk nonsense for a long
We-
time.
I
And they
listen
say
to
like, yeah,
nonsense.
babe, you're right. Yeah, babe, can't believe she did that. It's true, babe. Oh yeah, that show is good. Yeah, babe. Yeah, it's true. You
So
become
I'm
a
saying-
fan.
Yeah,
I
listen,
agree.
it's
Men
true.
do a lot, but women do
Of
a lot
course.
too. As much as if my man caters to me, I will do anything to make him happy. If he says, "Oh, babe, I like this meal," I will make sure I can cook it for him because guess what? He actually cares about what I want as well. You can't just have a one-way
It's
relationship.
not one way. I'm just saying.
You
I'm
give
just
it different
commenting.
ways.
I'm just saying. If I was a woman and I had to make a man as attracted to me as possible, my goal would be to give that man status and make him feel good about himself, And I'd be very, very careful talking too much about life experiences or opposing views, not because he's out to oppress me, not because he's an evil, horrible person, but because he's trying to find somebody with a similar life view. He's trying to find somebody he can show the world to, trying to find somebody he can feel like he can teach things to. That's how you get the best out of a man. I'll tell you now how you get the best out of a man.
That's why I got Clementine.
No, but if you go into a man's room when he's playing video games, and he's playing video games, and you say, all you do is play video games, and you nag him, he'll play video games. If you walk in there and go, you know what, you're so smart. I've seen you do so many amazing things, and you said so many amazing things. Why do you waste your time playing video games? You could show me so much. Now you're going to get him off the fucking console.
Yeah.
I know it's an ego play. I know your old girls are like, why should I have to do that? There's a lot of things
Because it tells you look pretty in the morning.
It's because you win. It's because in the end you win. You talk about why should I have to do that? Well, why should you have to work hard in the gym to get six-pack? Because you win. That's the game. It's actually, men are so simple. We are so simple. And the truth is, women know it. This is what's amazing. Women pretend they're confused. You're not confused. You know. You're just egos are in the way, and society's telling you something else, and you just fucking refuse to be agreeable, nice people.
So, no,
and then
it's
you
true.
wonder,
It's
wonder
true.
why men have this fucking problem marrying you.
It doesn't.
Wait,
agreeable
guys,
sounds like a
I have a
slave.
question.
No, agreeable is
guys,
being
wait.
nice.
So I have a question for the girls. So imagine you're dating a guy, okay, and it's your birthday, and for your birthday he gets you, let's say, a $500 gift, okay, and you're happy, right? It's thoughtful, it's specific to you. Then you found out last year he got his ex-girlfriend an entire birthday party. How does that make you feel? He did the most. He rented out the nicest hotel in London. He got her everything she wanted the year before.
Me not care.
You don't care at all?
I don't really care. As long as he's making me happy.
Okay,
You know, I was just banned on TikTok, and we are demonetized on a daily basis on this platform. If you want to help, please consider sending a super thanks below. Every donation helps, and it helps make what we do possible.